Managing our relationships, the four spheres of love. Family life is our first school of values, emotional and social learning, love and relationships. How we think and feel about ourselves and how we think and react about our feelings are first learned in the family. The values of empathy, respect, justice, and altruism are learned in the family. Family relationships are the foundation for the emotional content necessary for our own happiness. And finally, a civil society is sustained and renewed based on the values and love that are fostered in the family. And the family starts first with a couple. However, family life has undergone major changes since the end of World War II. Overall rates of marriage have declined. The number of couples living together before or instead of marriage has increased dramatically. The children born in de facto unions rather than marital unions is also increasing. And women are delaying childbearing and couples are having smaller families. However, the change that has had the most far-reaching consequences for family life is separation and divorce. There are emotional and social costs to this. Children raised by single parents are at greater risk of living in poverty and experiencing health, academic, or behavioral problems rather than children growing up with both parents. Mental health issues for men and women associated with divorce include the disruption of a primary affectional bond, insecurity, depression, hostility, self-acceptance, and a decline in personal growth and positive relationship with others. The United Nations maintains that to be effective, poverty reduction programs should focus on the family and family dynamics. After all, families are the hub of intergenerational interactions that support us in our lives. Let us explore this role. The four spheres of love in the family. What is the source of love in our lives? According to unification thought, within the family we can experience the interdependent system of the four spheres of love. Parental love for children, children's love for their parents, siblings' love, and conjugal love. The values we acquire and the love we experience through these relationships allow us to grow into happy and functional being. And for those who are spiritually inclined, God's love could be added to the center of this figure as the original source of love. The family of love that maintains the causal being as its center is the basic unit for the realization of an ideal society. So let us look first at love, parents' love for their children. Our development starts when we receive love as a child. Research shows that parental love for children is foundational for their development and for all relationship as children grow up. For example, parental values and love affect how siblings relate to each other, how they relate to their spouse and others, and how children understand romance and gender roles. Research suggests that children who have insecure attachment to their parents have more instances of sibling conflict. Second, children learn to love their parents. And third, they learn to love their siblings. Children are mostly self-focused, as we know. But as they grow up and interact with their parents and sibling, their capacity to consider the needs of others increases. Children learn that the well-being of the family is as important as their own individual concerns. This process fosters the value of altruism. If children and siblings have not developed sufficiently, then the ability to love one's spouse cannot blossom. Also, how children relate to their parents and how siblings relate to each other impacts how they interact with each other. No parent wants to see conflict in their children's relationship. The fourth is spousal love. As adults, our capacity to love increases once again as husband, as a wife, and as a parent. In our lifetime, we need to develop our hearts in these four spheres of love so that we can experience the richness and depth of love that these relationships have to offer, to develop our hearts and our capacity to grow to love. When one of these spheres of love is missing, we miss out on a deep experience of love. If we have not loved our parents, our siblings, our spouse, and our children enough, we can still do this if life permits. The family as a system of interdependence and mutual prosperity. Loving families foster relationships that are characterized by shared values, interdependence, and mutual prosperity. Family members that look after each other, in a nutshell, that's what it's about. Family members that look after each other. In the family, each sphere opens a new and rich experience of love. Each sphere builds upon the other, facilitating love and the growth onto the next level, like expanding concentric circles. Dr. Ungar, a noted scholar on resilience, maintains that relationships and support structures that exist in the family, the extended family, the community, the society, are the spheres and layers of love and support that allow children and adults to develop and experience well-being. Hence, beyond the nuclear family, grandparents, aunties, uncles, friends, schools, spiritual communities, clubs, and so on, are the additional layers of support that are provided to us in life. As the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. A society of interdependence and mutual prosperity. However, these spheres of relationships also set the standard of how we relate to others in society. So we begin as a family and we set the standard of how we're going to relate to others. This interdependence and reciprocity is indicated by the two arrows in the figure here. A peaceful society and world resembles the form of a functional family. Good family members become good citizens in the society. When such people leave their homes, they become people loved by all in society. If we relate to others outside our own family as if they're our own brothers and sisters, our parents, our grandparents, our children, then we have that heart that we've taken from the family and brought to the society. When we meet elder people, we love them and honor them. When we meet younger people, we will have the heart of an older sibling, a parent towards them. The world as interdependence and mutual prosperity. However, these layers can also be understood in the following way. Societal structures support the family. We've talked about this. However, the nation also supports the society, and the world supports the nation. As we have seen once again, a system of reciprocal relationships, always systems interconnected, influencing each other. However, there can be dysfunctional issues. We also know that families can also be dysfunctional schools of values and relationships. Many of our emotional hang-ups and prejudices and insecurities come from family relationships. Research suggests that a history of childhood abuse, of course, many adults who abuse children were abused themselves, and exposure to spousal violence are risk factors for perpetrating child abuse. A significant percentage of sexual abuse is perpetrated by family members or other caregivers who are close to the child. The family can also be the school of violence. 27% of children who are in homes where violence occurs witness that violence. Therefore, the family can also be a school of dysfunctional men and women relationship. Research suggests that having divorced parents is the highest risk factor for divorce in one's own marriage. This is because children of divorced parents receive poor socialization and role modeling for families. When these spheres of support for our families and society become dysfunctional, people learn and perpetrate the wrong values. We know this now, but the opposite is true. As Nelson Mandela said, no one is born hating another person because of the color of their skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can also be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Thank you for listening.